yeah, learn a lot from each fight. I was kind of thrown straight into the deep end with, top level grapplers. A lot of people are just had told me just to stick with boxing and quit MMA. You can't do both, and I don't tend to listen to those sorts of people. And I'm glad I didn't.
My name is Arlene Blencowe, that's my power you felt. Stupid ass judges took my championship belt. Look at all the damage in this fight that I dealt. These girls have a plan till I hit them first. Rebirth of anger fist makes your chain curse. Trying to fight back just makes your face look worse. Step into the octagon, you know my name. Get knocked out playing the angry fist game. Step into this Aussie, the result will be the same. All right. LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show live. And guys, I got a special guest. I'm kind of breathing heavy because I can't believe I'm talking to this person. I'm talking to Arlene Angerfist Blencowe. Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, you are on the line with me. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what this means to me. Just great, just brilliance. I mean, that's what it means. But
Awesome. That's awesome.
but you're fresh out of your fight at Bellator 198 against Julia Budd, and I'm gonna jump right into it. I honestly, I swear, I believe in my heart that you won that fight. Could you kind of take everybody back through that fight and maybe try to explain to everybody why you think you won?
Yeah, it's crazy actually. I've had so many people message me and comment and even comment on the Bellator post that sorry, I can blue that I won the fight. But obviously, yeah, in the cage, I felt like I did enough. I nullified her strength. The first round was obviously went to Julia. She had me up against a cage and she did get the takedown. But for the next 4 rounds, yeah, I defended her takedowns and got the better strikes off. Yeah, at the end of the fight, I walked away unmarked, unscathed, and yeah, she was a little bit worse for wear. But yeah, I guess the old saying goes that you shouldn't you shouldn't leave the fight up to the judges scorecards. So yeah, I guess you live and learn.
Yeah. I mean, you do. I was, though, honestly, I was impressed though. You were countering her a lot. You giving her a lot of different counters, and she didn't really want to attack you. Like you were pressing the action. I saw you cutting off the octagon. I saw you constantly staying in her face. It's just, she was kind of tentative. Even with takedowns, I felt like in some instances, she's very tentative and even trying to engage you.
Well, yeah, I know it's disheartening for a wrestler. If they go for the takedown, or go for the shot, and they yeah, it gets defended. Then they've got to be wary of the strikes. I know for a fact that nobody ever likes to be on the receiving end of any of my strikes. So, the only thing that I'm walking away from the fight regretting is that, I didn't let my hands go as much as I should have. I nullified her strength and should have really, used my strength. But yeah, it's easy to say in hindsight now. I don't think either of us fought the fight that we wanted to fight. It's never nice hearing the crowd boo and people comment that it's a boring fight and this and that. But at the end of the day, Julie and I were the ones that were in the ring or in the cage, I should say. And yeah, it's easy for people on the outside to make comments, but I know that she was nullifying my strength and I was nullifying hers, and it does make for a bit of a boring fight.
Well, I mean, it was more of a chess match. I don't like to use the word boring when you got two, high level MMA fighters fighting. I really don't like to do that, and you guys are kind of at the best. You guys are the best, two of the best in Bellator, and when you
Yeah.
have the best fighting the best, that's how sometimes it looks that way sometimes.
Well,
And
yeah,
oh,
there's a lot of respect given to each other. I respect Julia as an athlete and she respects me. So, we were never going to put each other ourselves into a position where we were going to, endanger ourselves. She could walk straight into one of my right hands or I could walk straight into one of her takedowns. And, we were both probably a little bit apprehensive of that. And, Yeah, it's hard to say. It's crazy to think it's not even a week ago, and here I am back in Australia, driving home from work. But yeah, the fight's gone over my head 1,000 times, and I wish the outcome was different to what it was. But yeah, I shouldn't have left it to the judges.
But Arlene, the shots that you were landing, they were hurting. I mean, come on. We got to
Yeah,
talk about the good stuff. We got to talk about the good
yeah.
stuff too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm taking a lot of positives from the fight. It's never nice losing. This one's probably a bittersweet loss because I put a lot of effort into my fight camp. So I'm a mother with two children. I do work full time back here in Australia. I also run a personal training business. Like, I'm an extremely busy person, and a lot of areas of my life. I sacrifice a lot of areas. Time with my family, time with my friends, this and that. And yeah, I was 100% certain that I was coming home with that world title, and it was going to cap off an amazing year. And yeah, it is a hard pill to swallow that I didn't come home with it, but I still am taking a lot of positives from the fight. Like, you know, this past 12 months since my last fight with Julia, I've had my head coach Sean take me under his wing, and we've really worked on my weaknesses, and I think that showed in that fight. Julia's a top level athlete who's very, very strong grappler, and I defended her takedowns, and yeah, I would have liked to have actually even had the fight go to the ground so I can actually show like the improvements I made in that area. But yeah, I've defended a shot, so there's a lot of positives to take from the fight.
It's a whole lot of positives. I mean, the fact that you didn't get touched up. I mean, you defended well. You defended very well, and I think you made her. I think you made her resort to a different kind of game. I think you made her throw out her plan B because when she couldn't take you down as fruitfully as she wanted to, she had to switch, and when she had to
Yeah,
stand with you, she couldn't do it. I mean, there's no
yeah,
way. And honestly, and I think in the featherweight division, I think you're one of the better strikers. Well, and that's because of your boxing background. But
yeah, yeah.
you've made a very very fast adjustment. I mean, can you tell people? Okay, well, first of all, you were a champion boxer. You had an IBA title in boxing, right?
WIBA, WBF world titles back in 2013. The same year I actually started MMA. So 2013 was a very interesting year for me. I had my greatest wins in the boxing ring, becoming a two-time world champion. But in the in the next hand, I had started my MMA career and lost my first fight by armbar, and backed up in that first year had 8 MMA fights. So professional MMA fights. Because I was a professional boxer, I never got to have some warm-up fights in amateur ranks. So I was kind of thrown straight into the deep end with top-level grapplers here in Australia, and yeah, learned a lot from each fight, but unfortunately took a lot of losses too. So the first year was a very trying year because a lot of people had told me just to stick with boxing and quit MMA. You can't do both, and I don't tend to listen to those sorts of people. And I'm
Mm.
glad I didn't, because here I am, ranked number 3 in the world for MMA, and still a champion boxer. So yeah, if I had have listened to those people, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, could I think we need to tell those people that not once did you fight for a title, okay? You fought twice
No,
for a title, okay, in MMA. You fought
yeah,
twice for a title, and you've been holding your own. You got some pretty stellar wins. I mean, you fought Gabby Holloway. You beat her, and you also beat Snead Kavanaugh, who she tough, okay?
oh, it's tough.
She real
Sinead,
tough. You was cracking
yeah,
the hell out of that girl, and she.
yeah.
I mean, man, she was eating those punches.
Yeah, I was eating a few of hers too, but Sinead was a tough girl, but she was one of those girls that you need to have a fight with, because a lot of the one thing that I do like, the fact that I've come from a striking background, and I can take a punch, and most boxers can, because that's you're used to getting punched in the head, but people coming from a grappling background don't tend to like that, getting punched in the face, and you can see it in their eyes, when they get hit, it scares them a little bit. But with 4-ounce gloves, it's a completely different story again. So, copying those punches from Sinead, it really showed me that, yeah, I've got what it takes to, to do well in this sport once I get on top of the grappling and the ground game.
And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you guys are listening to this, and let me tell you, it's 5,000 of y'all that could possibly see this. So listen, y'all better take all this advice that she's giving y'all. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to people who don't tell you that you can't do something, because she's already walking proof. She's already doing it, And I'm talking to Arlene Blencowe, okay? I'm talking to her, guys. This is like great. This is special right now, okay? She's giving y'all top-notch information. So I want to ask you about a fight. And I was laughing at this fight the whole time. You fought a woman named May Lynn, and I'm gonna tell you, I call her Angry May. Um,
Yeah.
she just seemed very angry, and I laugh, and I'm like, well, Angry May got beat up by Angry Fist. So what the hell?
Um, I'm not too sure what that walkout, because we're actually friends on Facebook, on social media now. We've done a wrestling camp together and that since then, and she's a lovely girl. She's not angry at all. She's actually a really nice girl. But yeah, I don't know, maybe she was just getting pumped up in the back change room, and that's how it happened. But yeah, that was a pretty awesome fight for me.
It was a good fight because you went in there and you really showcased what kind of talent you had. And even on the ground, I was shocked that she took a takedown happened, and I'm trying to memorize the whole thing. And you actually reversed the takedown, and you got top control, and you got top position on her, which I was really impressed, since you coming from a boxing background, that the grappling doesn't come natural to boxers. But I thought you handled yourself well in that fight.
Yeah, well, I was excited. Like, I was really happy with that one because, yeah, that was in my first year of doing MMA, and back then I was with coaches who weren't at the high level of coaching that my coaches now are. But yeah, I transitioned well, and they were awesome for that stage of my career, getting to like where I was so quickly. But yeah, I was spewing because I really wanted the submission win for that fight. But yeah, I was happy just to win.
No, well, it was more than just a win. See, I think you're a little bit modest. That was a big win because you won like in impressive fashion. I mean, you stopped her. You stopped her in very impressive fashion. I mean, she pretty much couldn't defend herself, and ref came and they called off the fight. But I mean, I thought you did a great job in that fight.
Yeah, well, it's funny because obviously, like, I'm a lot more skilled and talented now, but from each fight, there's different things throughout fight camp that are memorable, and then obviously the fight themselves. And yeah, like that fight, I just radiated like confidence, and obviously it just showed in the fight. And yeah, there's just a lot now, I guess, that I'm more experienced, and I can appreciate things throughout my fight camp and the fight itself that I'll pull out certain things now. So yeah, there's a lot from the Julia fight that I'm taking away to help make me a better fighter. There's a lot in my fight camps and the fights that I take out to make me a better person too. And I think that my response, and I guess the way I handled this past week, as much as I'm hurting inside that I'm not winning, that I'm still being the type of person that I want to be, remembered, being a humble person, a humble athlete, a well-respected athlete and person. So yeah.
You're extremely humble, but how the heck are those judges going to rob you like that in that second fight? These judges got some explaining to do. I mean, they do. Because I really, and I watched the fight 3 times, okay? And that's because I was like, you know what? No, there must have been something that I missed, but I don't think it's anything I missed, And, I even got an audience that some of them are split. Some of them said that they thought you won. Some of them thought that, Julia won with the clinch. And I'm like, well, I don't really see much. I mean, actually, it was a low volume output fight, but I still thought that you had more pressure, and I thought that you had the more clean, effective strikes. That's just my opinion, and I call it like I see it,
Yeah, well, I think a lot of hers, there was a lot of kicks that she threw and punches, but I was out of range to cover them. Like, I was seeing punches that the only thing is that, yeah, I should have been coming back with a counter from that. But it's again something that I'm learning. This is only my 4th year of MMA. Like, I'm 34 and I had my debut fight at 30. So, yeah, I mean, all these girls at this top level have had so many more years of experience than me. And like I said before, I didn't get an amateur career to, use as a stepping stone into my professional career and a learning curve. Like, I'm still learning every fight. And, yeah, I guess for me, there's only better things to come from this. I've learned a lot. This year's been a really good year. I've won 3 out of my 4 fights. And, yeah, I guess next year, a completely different fight. I'll just step back into the cage yet again.
And let's talk about how often you fight. Look, you fought 4 times in 2017. 4.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you fought October 20th, 16. You came back in January, and then in 2017, you fought 4 times. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing to keep your body in such tip-top condition? Because that's almost really unheard of in this generation.
Well, yeah, that's what I sit here now, and it's probably another thing that, maybe I shouldn't have pushed for the fight in December because I'd already had such a good year and just to let my body rest. But the thing is, I love fighting. I love everything about it, being in fight camp, just having, something for me to focus on like that. So, I'm a late starter with my fight career. I was only 26 when I started boxing, so I'm only in my 8th year of fighting. So, I still love what I do, and I just think, because I am getting older, I do only have a few more years of this, so I'm really trying to make the most of it. The only reason I actually started MMA was to keep active because my boxing career, once I won the world titles here in Australia, it was just really hard for me to find opponents, and getting overseas and not having financial backing to come over and fight in America, and that just made it really hard. And I want to be fighting, I want to be active, and so yeah, that's why I started MMA, and that kept me really active. And this year, having the 4 fights, it was awesome. But yeah, when I sit back and think about it, I've been in a fight camp pretty much all year. Like, I fought in January, in April, in August, and then December. So every 3 months, I've had a fight. So yeah, it's been an incredibly busy year. I've this year also worked, like I said, full time. So and I've got a job where I've got a lot of responsibility, and I've got to meet deadlines every month, and also clients that I train as a personal trainer. So I'm dedicated to them with meeting their own personal goals. So, and then obviously with the children too, it's been an extremely busy year, and it would have been awesome to cap it all off with the world title, but I still need to be, extremely happy with what I've done this year and what I've built up for 2018.
Arlene, 17 fights in 4 years. I just want you to listen. 17 fights in 4 years, okay? 2 title shots, okay? 2 title shots.
Boxing fights.
And if you want to add, and you said boxing first, right?
Yeah, no, so yeah, in the last 4 years I've had 8 boxing fights as well, so.
Wow.
I've been really busy.
But you got to look at it though. 34 is young. It's real young, and you haven't, technically, you really hadn't even reached the prime yet. Even, because see, I believe this, you take care of yourself well. I mean, you exercise, you do, and you don't even look your age. So, I don't know, you think when you turn 36, you could be in the prime of your career, and I'm talking about like really just going in there and really everything just completely come together for you.
Yeah. I think that where I'm at the moment, I'm lucky too. I've got 2 children, so becoming a mother, there's a lot of athletes, that are wanting to sort of leave the sport and become a mother, and I've had my children. I'd like to have more, again, but it's not something that I'm yearning for right this second. So, the fact that I've got really good coaching now, and I've got good sponsors that also look after, all of my, recovery and all my, nutrition supplements, etc. like that. So, I'm in a good place at the moment, and the next sort of 12 to 24 months should hopefully I'll reap the rewards for it.
Do you think you'll be fighting for the title again?
Oh, 100%. I'm the number one contender, and to be completely honest, I'm the top of the division under Julia. There's other girls there. Gabby, Alexis DeFrusne. Unfortunately, she missed weight at Bellator 189, so I'm not too sure what's happening with her. But you've got Talita Nogueira, who's undefeated, so she's she probably will be the next top. But yeah, before my time's up in this with Bellator, I definitely will be taking a shot. I'd love to get redemption with Julia, but I think it's only fair that she goes on and fights somebody else, next for something different. The crowd probably doesn't want to see Julia and myself fight the third time so soon.
Well, okay. See, what do you think, crowd? What do you think? I'd actually like to see that fight again, because to me, it was a chess match. And
yeah.
See, it's the finer points of fighting, and I think some of the casuals don't really get that. Sometimes there's a casual chess match, and you and Julia, you guys are playing chess. To me, the fight was entertaining to me because I get into all aspects of the fight, and I can tell when there are two high-level competitors in the octagon together that they've made 1,000% adjustments. Because look, if you would have been reckless against Julia, you could have gotten an armbar. You could have been rear naked choked to death. And if she would have been reckless with you, she would have ran into one of those right hands. And I'm going to tell you, your right hands, those girls back up when they feel that right hand. And she did several times. I mean, you cracked her. You split the guard. And I knew that was some of your old boxing training coming back when you was splitting the guard. And she was backing up. So she didn't want to be carried out on the stretcher. And you definitely didn't want to be choked out and put to sleep. So it's one of those things.
That's it. Like, the fight went 5 rounds. Julia won the world title against Marloes, who I have huge respect for, but she stopped her in the second round. So, I've gone 5 rounds, with the champion. So it's something that, I need to take credit for and be happy with. But, next time I will win.
I actually believe that. I mean, I honestly believe that you're going to win next time. Matter of fact, I think the angry fist just going to go like berserk fist, and you're going to do some damage there.
Yeah, well, I've got, all these crazy emotions going through me at the moment. I'm definitely taking the high road with, comments and stuff like that. And it is nice to have people message me, and obviously it's a lot nicer to be on the receiving end of people believing that I won and being so close than to have just been stopped in the first round and know that I'm not, at that level to be fighting there. Like, at least I'm walking away from this fight knowing that, I belonged in there, and I whether or not it was close or I should have won, like, it wasn't that she was a better fighter than me or that she outclassed me. So, despite everything that I sort of have to overcome in, like, my personal life with juggling everything, I still get myself prepared and on that world stage and being extremely competitive. So it's, I guess, a massive tribute to me.
Now, there's a fight I do want to ask you about. You can tell